We have Jared Kessler with us today from EasyKnock.com. And Jared will talk a little bit about himself, will present his company, and then we'll get into conversation about reviews, complaints, and how Jared runs his business.
Well, thanks for the opportunity today. I am the CEO and co-founder of EasyKnock. My name is Jared Kessler. I am based out of New York.
I want to talk a little bit about your book, Death of Real Estate Salesman, New Technologies Changing Real Estate Market. What is this book about? How is technology transforming real estate?
Yeah, so in 2015, there were a number of companies that were emerging. I think there were really like three different eras of prop tech, which is real estate technology. One was the creation of the MLS. The second one was the birth of Zillow. And the third one was this move in sort of prop tech, which are finding the white spaces in residential real estate. Either solving problems through different products like 3D cameras for like virtual tours, and then like places like where we focus a lot on where people have either equity release issues, their equity's trapped in their home, or when they're moving, they don't have a solution to basically help them buy a home. So the book was really about, at the time in 2015, when I think I wrote it, 2015-16, it was, it's more of a play on the, Willy Loman, Death of a Real Estate Salesman, but it's really focused on, if you're a real estate agent and you want to thrive in the future, you're going to have to embrace the ever-changing technology landscape. And we all know in every industry, it's what they call Moore's Law, where it exponentially keeps getting better and better over time. And with AI, it's going to get even better. So it's helping agents and people that are just interested in what's happening in prop tech understand the changing real estate market and what are some of the tools that are available and how we think it's going to change.
So do you expect in 2 to 3 years, people would go to ChatGPT-like tool, explain what kind of property they're looking for, and properties will present to themselves?
No. So at one time, I didn't understand the idea of a real estate agent making between 5 and 6% for showing a home and selling it. Most of the rest of the world, they're making 1 to 2%. I believe that the real estate agents provide a very valuable service that I think is sometimes mocked or dismissed. So as I've learned and been in this business now, running this company for 7 years, I'm not afraid to admit that I've changed my mind. I think that they're needed. I don't know if they're mispriced. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But I do believe that the way they present will change, but there will be a role for some sort of representative. I think hundreds of millions of people have tried to disrupt it, and it's a very strong ecosystem that will change over time. It will look differently, but it will not go away.
Why? Why? Explain to me why real estate agent is needed.
Well, I think a real estate agent most people, their biggest asset in the world is their real estate, right? Is their home. And, if that's the truth, most people have a financial advisor when they're thinking about investing in stocks or bonds. I look at a real estate agent as sort of playing that advisory role. What is my house worth? Most people think their house is worth a lot more. So a real estate agent is a great guardrail and voice of reason. 2, for most people, it's a very overwhelming process. So even though you can digitally create, a set of stages that you're going to have to execute on when you're buying and selling a home, 1, most people don't have time. And 2, people are going to have trouble following it. Most of the people I'm sure you're listening to at some point have been around someone that's bought a home or sold a home or have done it themselves, between mortgages and title and inspections and staging and doing that. Most people don't want to spend the money out of pocket to do that. And a real estate agent is doing that for a commission. And yet it's a lot of money. But at the end of the day, a good real estate agent will save you money because they'll get you the best price possible and they'll guide you to position your home to get that best price possible. So there might be tools to do it, and I know it's a very popular commentary to say they're not needed, but try to sell your home yourself and see what happens. That's why I say to the audience, you'll find it's going to be very difficult.
You mentioned that you've started your business. This is your business, right? This is your company.
I was the founder and I'm the CEO. So, I mean, we have a ton of shareholders. So it's not just mine, but I am a shareholder.
Understood. So what challenges did you face along the way?
When you're blazing a new trail, so one of our core products is a sale leaseback product where you're buying someone's home and renting it back to them. You could just imagine you're some sort of new company telling someone that you want to buy their home and take their title. People are going to be very suspect. There's a lot of people out there that are not have the moral compass that EasyKnock has, and they'll look to scam you and take advantage and be predatory. And that has ruined a lot of goodwill for a lot of companies out there. So one of the challenges, you have to prove to people that you're trustworthy, and you have to get them over that. So it takes a lot of work at the beginning because it's really, hand-to-hand combat, going to people saying, listen, this is who we are, this is why we're doing it, and this is what you're going to get out of it, and this is why contractually you're protected. So that's one challenge. Another challenge is we've been through since 2018 a pandemic, record for in the last 40 years, the highest interest rate spikes ever. You have distractions going on with your employees, with political unrest and everything else going on in the world. So those have been challenging. Just a lot of distractions going on, and every time you feel like you have your arms around something, the world changes, and it's changing at an exponential rate, as we talked about before. ChatGPT just got introduced. That's another sort of change. So there's just constant changes, and being able to keep up with that pace is extremely difficult, and adapting takes a lot of work, and it's exhausting at times.
Can you explain to our viewers sale to lease process so that I understand it a little bit better? You're buying someone's home and you are renting it out to the previous owner right away. How does it work?
70% of the United States housing market does not have access to the mortgage markets because either FICO score is too low or they can't meet the debt to income ratio that's required in underwriting to get a mortgage. A mortgage can help you buy a home, but it also can help you get money out of your current home. And that's what I'm focused on, the existing home. So how do you get money out of your existing home? You could do a home equity line of credit. If you're 62 and over, you could do a reverse mortgage, or you can refi your home. Now, 70% of the people can't qualify. And in the last 10 years, there's been 80% appreciation on the U.S. housing market. So you have a rising interest rate environment, and, you turn on the TV, you turn on Susie Orman, where whoever the financial advisor on TV of the day is, everyone will tell you one thing: in a rising interest rate environment, you're not supposed to take out debt. You're supposed to take out equity. I just described that this equity has just been created over the last 10 years. So how do people get the equity out if they can't get a mortgage? Your only choice is to, one, sell your home, or two, if you need liquidity, go to bad choices, right? Take out credit card debt at 30% APR, student debt, whatever it is. It's just going to make your life worse. So we say to people, we can buy your home. We'll buy your home at appraised value. We will give you a certain portion of the home up front. We'll give you up to 75% of the home value up front based on that appraisal. You'll pay us market rent based on a third party. We pay the taxes, insurance, HOA, and repairs, fire, life safety repairs. And then at any time, and it's 5-year leases, they can buy back the home for whatever cash we gave them. So if it was a $300,000 home, we give them 75%. That will be $225,000 up front. And then they can buy back the home for the $225,000 plus a small exit fee, or they can go out in the market, hire a real estate agent, or sell it themselves. We just talked about that. And wherever they sell that house for, they get the next sale price minus the cash we gave them day one, the $225,000 plus that exit fee. So if the house goes from $300,000 to $400,000, they receive $400,000 minus $225,000 plus that exit fee. And it's that simple.
Understood. And you're pretty much earning real estate rent fees in the process.
We make money we take a processing fee up front at 5%. We charge market rent, and then we have a small exit fee on the back end. And those are 3 ways we make money on our biggest sale leaseback product, which is called Sell and Stay. It's exactly what it sounds like.
Cool. And just out of curiosity, how many houses of that in that process you have?
What I can tell you is we don't give the numbers, but I can tell you we're the 15th biggest owner of single family homes in the country right now. We operate in all 50 states. We're actually going to be leaving Massachusetts soon. It just doesn't work for our business. There's a bunch of different reasons that are not really exciting. But other than that, we're in all the other 49 states.
Do you have repeat customers?
Well, look, we have a product that's a sale leaseback product, but we have a bunch of other products. So I'll give you an example. We bought a company in May called Ribbon, which does cash offers. So if someone qualifies for mortgage and they want to use a cash offer to buy the product, so that customer could be a leaseback customer when they're getting ready to move. We can engage them on the cash offer product as well too. So there's ways we can show other products throughout their journey of when they're buying and selling that will work. Again, we've never had someone that's done a sale leaseback twice, but we're young enough that I'm not surprised by that.
What is the most common anecdotes, issues you see in the real estate market that you are willing to share?
I think there's a huge correlation between emotion and complaints. So like as you're getting close, like when our customers decide they want to go through the sale option at the end to get the rest of the money in that example I gave you, when they go to the market and they sell the house to get, the next sale price minus the day one cash, and you're getting close to like releasing funds and, you're getting an inspector and appraisal. There's a lot of things that are out of our control. So like an appraisal can change the appointment where they don't show up. Those are third parties that we don't control. That's usually where we have the most trouble because our culture is really to take care of our customers. But a lot of our customers think that they work for us. And that's where we usually see the biggest amount of complaints. It's because they're getting close to the end. They're waiting for a big chunk of money and they're feeling anxiety that maybe like we're predatory or a scam would be my guess, right? Because that's a natural reaction when things take longer. And I would say that's probably at the top of the list. I think, we've had situations like I've become a weatherman with all this climate change going on. And every time there's a hurricane, where there's a tornado, where there's a fire, it doesn't just happen to one home. It usually happens to like 50, 70, 100 homes. So we're dealing with it all at the same time. And there's only a certain amount of people that can handle it. So sometimes those problems are not addressed as quickly as we would like it to. But, we're not Mother Nature, right? We're just a company trying to solve these problems. So that's probably be number 2 on the list.
Realizing these potential problems, how do you communicate to your customers ahead of time the simple points that you adjust the company and you're trying to compete with nature?
It's a great question. And one of the things I've really tried to give my advice to my team is that when you have a big catalyst of someone being pissed off, one of the ways you get a pissed consumer is you don't manage their expectations and you don't tell them what will change in a process. So for example, when we're buying a home and they think they're going to get a certain amount of money, the things that can change in any real estate transaction is once the inspection comes, they say there's issues with the home that you have to cure. So you basically take the price down because you have to pay for those repairs. The appraisal might come in lower. Then we may find liens. So I'll give you 2 different sort of paths. One is we didn't tell them that these things might happen in the transaction. And they're just going to be like, oh, I was scammed. I can't believe you didn't tell me this. You screwed me, right? Then there's another place where you say, you told them these things will change. You give them a checklist of the things that change. And guess what happens when it changes? They're not a pissed consumer. Well, that's an example. Education, videos. When people don't understand something, they get uncomfortable too. So the better you can help them understand different pieces of the process and how to engage with us on that through technology and marketing materials, help out a lot too. So those would be my 2 answers to that.
Understood. So yes, you certainly need to educate your consumers upfront so that they don't get as pissed over a period of time. Do you have customer service department? People responding to phones, calls? How big is the department?
We have a property management team that deals with like repairs, collections. We have a disposition team that deals with people that want to buy back their house and sell it. And then we have an offshore team that helps with overflow of customer service. So the amount of people, there's definitely, north of like 45 people on that team between all those different places. And then, yeah, I mean, we get to everyone pretty quickly. We pride ourselves on our customer service. We've won a bunch of awards around it and stuff like that. We have a 4.6 out of 5 on Trustpilot.
Do you use any standardized CRM systems, or you built your own for your unique business?
A little of both. Like we use Salesforce, we use HubSpot, but we also have our own proprietary systems for special different dynamics in our business as well too.
Your property management team, you said 45 people. I assume locally at different states you hire local professionals.
No. And the 45 includes people that are answering customer service, property management, and the disposition team, just to be clear. And we don't have boots on the ground. We have local contractors in all this, all 49 states we're operating in, where we basically field out that work. We, at the company level, we're dealing with a lot of the collections, repairs, and maintenance, and customer service questions. But the repair sides we field out.
A customer of yours has a problem. They sold you a house, they have toilet leak. You send a vendor in. In order to send the vendor in, you receive the call from your client. Who is the client going to be upset at? You or the vendor?
Us.
How do you choose your vendors?
Well, unfortunately, some of them are not in our control. So, for example, if we have someone that's financing our homes, they get to choose the person that's doing the appraisal. So it's really just educating them up front that we don't have anything to do with it. It's not our choice. This is a third party that's doing it. Things like inspections or, real estate agents, that stuff we have more control over. So some we do, some we don't. And it's challenging. I'm going to just be honest. That's a challenge of a business. It's hard to take responsibility when you don't have control.
How did you learn about PissedConsumer?
I learned about PissedConsumer from one of the councils I'm on. I met you guys on that.
Gotcha. What do you think about the name and the whole concept where consumers can leave their complaints and reviews on the platform that has a negative name?
I'm a huge fan of it. I think it stands out and it gets people's attention. And I think boring doesn't work, and we're in a world with a lot of noise. And I'm going to remember PissedConsumer, and I like it because it speaks for, if you're pissed off, here you go. Well, I'm a fan of it, but I might be the wrong person to ask because that's more my personality.
How do you build a customer service that is consistent?
Yeah. So the way we do it at EasyKnock is once a month, I meet with every new employee that comes in the firm. I personally meet with the team of the people that started it within that month at some point. And I give them a presentation on the company values. And a lot of those values are about, what our customers expect from us and what we expect from the employees to the customer. So it's things like empathy, doing the right things and doing things right. Be committed to being responsive. Those type of things. Those are some good examples.
Is there anything you wish to add to this interview? Maybe I didn't touch upon any of the topics that you would like to highlight.
I mean, as it relates to what you're focused on, I think there's a lot of pissed consumers that are very demoralized and frustrated and angry about the fact that they have this asset, this home that they built up this equity in, and they can't figure out a way to extract that value. So they're forced to make all these bad choices. And I want them to know that there is a solution out there that can help them. And they may not own a home, but they know someone that can use the service. And again, I'm not saying this to promote the company. I'm saying that in the context of, I see a lot of people that are angry and pissed off because they get these teasers and they go for a mortgage, and the mortgage company doesn't know, clearly knows they're not going to qualify, but they want to keep them in their sort of CRM. that draws them in or other stuff. And I'm just here to say that if anyone's listening to this and they own a home and they can use the equity out of their home to improve their life, that I want them to know that we exist.
Let me ask you another question that may remain in the video or may not. So you are competing with traditional mortgage lenders.
Nope. If someone can get access to the mortgage markets, we tell them to do it. We focus on the 70% of the market that is rejected.
That is rejected. Okay. So, and the person, once they are rejected by a mortgage company, guess where they're going to go to complain about it?
They're not going to complain about it to anywhere except for their spouse, for their family. I'm just saying they're going to be pissed. It's not literally they're going to PissedConsumer.com, except if they were marketed that they think they could have been qualified and it wasn't clear to them that this is the criteria. So where they would go to complain about that is either the company or some sort of regulatory body or Attorney General's office or a platform like yours.
That is correct. PissedConsumer could be a lead generator for you, for your products.
Correct.
That pretty much sums up this conversation. I don't have any other questions. Thank you for supporting our platform. And I'm happy that you were part of this conversation today.
I appreciate you making the time for me as well, too. I love the name. I think you guys are going to crush it. And I'm excited to see what happens.
Thank you. Have a good one.